last day in Toronto. Rogers Centre is closed. The Blue Jays take on the Rangers for the third game of this four-game series. Toronto trying to make it 8 in a row against the Texas Rangers this season. Hello, everybody. I'm Buck Martinez along with Pat Tabler. And, Pat, we know all along that Cito Gaston and Dwayne Murphy have pushed an aggressive approach at the plate. How has that aggressive approach at the plate paid off?
Well, it's paid off with a lot of home runs, but it's a very unique approach at the plate that the Blue Jays have offensively. It's have a plan when you get up there, be aggressive. You got 3 swings at it, make the most of it, and really the results speak for themselves for what the Blue Jays have done this year. When you are aggressive at the plate, you're going to lead the major leagues in home runs.
And one thing the Blue Jays do, they lead the major leagues in swinging at first pitches.
I think that's part of being aggressive. If a pitcher's just going to throw one over the middle of the plate, be ready to swing it, and the Blue Jays have certainly done that. They've got the worst ground ball fly ball ratio. I think that's a good thing. You want to get the ball up in the air. If you're going to hit a home run, get it up in the air, stay out of the double play, and the Blue Jays have done that. That certainly was on display in yesterday's game. When you are up there in an aggressive frame of mind and ready to grip it and rip it, you're going to hit long home runs. Look where this one lands from Vernon Wells in the 4th deck in left field, and then Adam Lind later in the ball game, 457 feet to dead center field. Lots of home run swings in yesterday's game.
Well, the offense we know has hit home runs. They have to improve their approach overall to get up to the contending ball clubs. And for more on that approach, let's check in with Sam Cosentino, who's standing by with Cito Gaston.
Cito, you came out of spring training. You knew this was going to be a team that hit a lot of home runs. We're seeing a huge stretch now. But are you at times even surprised by the amount of home runs this club has hit this year?
Not at all. I thought this was the type of club that we had, and so far I've been pretty close to being right. I mean, we got a few guys with 20 home runs. We also have one that's not here anymore. It's Gonzalez. He left here with 18, so we're still going to count him in there too. So we got a couple more guys who'd like to get to 20, as in John Buck, and so is Overbay would like to get to that 20 home run for the year. So no, not surprised at all.
Cito, 900 wins last night. When you look at this milestone, even after a day later, do you think much about it?
Well, you know what? It's funny. I didn't even know about it last night until they told me. That's how much I think of things like that. I guess when I get a little bit older and sitting at home in my rocking chair, I will go back and relate and certainly think about all these things that's happened in my career, as far as winning a couple of World Series and 4 Division, 2 championship, and also winning 900 games. Hope we win about 920 games. So, we'll finish the season off pretty good.
Cito, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
The Blue Jays with 4 more home runs last night. John Buck, number 17. Vernon Wells went deep twice, 26 and 27. Adam Lind hit his 20th. The Blue Jays have now hit 21 home runs in 8 games against the Texas Rangers. Better than any club per game all year long. Rangers Blue Jays next. Texas Rangers. Toronto has won 8 straight since dropping an opening day game in the bottom of the 9th inning to Texas in Arlington to start the season. Ron Washington's ball club going through a bit of a tough stretch right now. Take a look at his lineup. David Murphy has been one of the consistent hitters for the Rangers. 6-game hit streak, 11 for 24, a homer and 3 RBIs. They need to have more consistent offense to bolster a pitching staff right now that's really struggling a bit.
Pitching and defense have been a tough point for the Texas Rangers over the last month or so. On this road trip, though, they've had double-digit hits in 4 straight of these games, longest road streak of the season. Unfortunately, they're 2-6 on this 10-game road trip that they are trying to finish up on a positive note. Mark Zebchinski will take the mound tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays. He allowed 5 runs in 4 innings in a no decision against the New York Yankees last time out. That was just 3 days ago. He threw 73 pitches in that game, so Zebchinski's going to come back on short rest. He has struggled in his last 4 outings, pitching to a 9 earned run average. I think base on balls have been the problem for Mark, 15 of them. And the batters have hit .329 against him. He has made 1 start against the Rangers in his career, pitched pretty well. 6 innings, 3 earned runs, and had 9 strikeouts.
Blue Jays have done a good job with Ian Kinsler. He's just 1 for 10 in this series. Looks at the first pitch outside. Been a struggle for him the last 8 games, hitting over 200 with a homer and an RBI, but not much else. He's been dealing with injuries all year long.
Just came off the disabled list on August the 31st. So you got to figure that his timing is somewhat messed up a little bit right now. This guy is such a key for the Texas Rangers offensively.
3 balls and no strikes, and Zebchinski again having trouble with his fastball command. That led to his undoing last Saturday against the Yankees. As a strike, 3-1. Long drive to left center field. Kinsler has gotten this one out of here. Home run, Ian Kinsler. He got a 3-1 fastball and drilled it over the fence in left center. For Kinsler, his 8th home run of the season. The Rangers are out in front 1-0.
Ron Washington could hit Ian Kinsler all over the place, but he says if he gets his pitch in that first inning, he can give you a very quick lead, and he certainly does that. 3-1, he is sitting all over a fastball, gets it middle in, and Kinsler with those great hands. He's got a quick bat, doesn't miss this one. Line drive over the 375 side for a quick 1-0 lead.
Michael Young batting second again tonight. Young was 0 for 5 in last night's game, but over his last 8 games, he's been hot.
Blue Jays pitched him tough last night. Had a 7-game hit streak that was stopped by Sean Markham in the bullpen. Really stayed away from Michael Young in last night's game.
Had 3 hits in the series opener on Monday. But Markham really pitched him tough, pitched him away throughout most of the game last night, and Michael Young kept chasing that outside pitch.
You know, for me, I think that's the strength of Michael Young. I think he likes the ball away from him where he can do something with it, shoot the ball down into the right field corner or whatever. But Markham's pitches were just that tough, just off the plate.
And he kept taking a little bit further off the plate. 12th win last night for Sean Markham. He improves to 12-7. 2-1 to Michael Young is fouled out of play. Mark Zebchinski had a good start against the Angels. His first start since his recall most recently. Went 7 strong innings against the Angels. In that game, allowed just 2 hits, didn't walk a batter, and struck out 6. His best start by far this year.
Certainly, but the 4 starts after that, he has really struggled with his command and getting ahead of hitters and putting them away.
And he walks Michael Young.
Let's take a look at tonight's scouting report brought to you by TD Bank. Banking can be this comfortable. Mark Zebchinski is a sinker baller. When he is on, he'll get a lot of ground ball outs. That fastball's got some nice tailing action to it. Both sides of the plate. I think he needs to go in and out with that slider and that fastball. Stay out of the middle of the plate. He's got a go-to pitch. It's curveball. I think it's a good one. He can use it to the left-handers. He can use it to the right-handers. But that's a pitch he's going to have to get over for a strike.
Nelson Cruz back in the third spot, and there's that slider over for a strike. These numbers continue to reflect the inconsistent offense for the Rangers. 233 over his last 19 games for Cruz. Pretty good pitch right there. Looked like a good fastball, but that evens a count at a ball and a strike.
You know, if you don't show consistency to the home plate umpire, especially early in the ball game, that you can throw the ball where you want to, you are not going to get those borderline pitches.
Ball on the strike to Cruz. Chases that good sinking fastball. Zebchinski ahead for the first time tonight.
That's the tailing fastball that he'll have to use to get ground ball outs and keep the ball in the ballpark. Doesn't really blow the ball by you. He's got to mix and match, add and subtract, and keep it out of the middle of the dish.
Way outside, 2-2. We mentioned just 3 days between starts from last Saturday to tonight's game for Zebchinski. Normal rest is 4 days in between a 5 pitchers schedule. 2-2 to Cruz. Left field in deep. McCoy back and makes the catch on the warning track.
Well, over his last 4 starts since the one you mentioned out in Anaheim where he was spectacular, this is what he has put together. 17 innings, more hits than innings pitched. An earned run average of 9 and base on balls. That's the big thing for Mark, because he can't strike batters out consistently. Just blow it by you. He's got to be able to pitch to contact. You can't be walking guys.
And this defense has been so good in this series. Last night they turned 3 double plays. They turned 1 on the opening night on Monday night. So you give the defense a chance, they'll help you out. Vladimir Guerrero ducks back from an inside fastball. Absolutely worn out the Blue Jays this year. 15 for 28 with a couple of home runs and 6 RBI. Long home run in the 4th inning last night. His 23rd of the season. Base hit left field. Young stops at second. A short-changed Guerrero. That home run he hit last night was his 26th of the season. And he's aboard with another base hit.
He's got great extension and great plate coverage. They want the ball down and away. Well, that is exactly where Guerrero has hurt the Blue Jays this whole series. Anything down. Such a good low ball hitter. Problem with that pitch, not that it was down, it was over the middle of the plate. He could reach it.
So with 2 on and 1 out, Jeff Francoeur back in right field tonight. Steps in. Pitch just off the inside corner, and you can see Ed Rapuano, the home plate umpire, shaking his head. Said close, but not good enough. Francoeur came over to the Rangers on August 31st. Little looping liner that's going to drop. Base hit into left field. Young comes around third. He's going to score. Francoeur picks up the RBI. 2-0 Texas.
Francoeur is just so strong. Great athlete. Growing up in Atlanta, played some football. So strong, he just muscles this ball from Zebchinski off the end of the bat. Puts it out into a good spot into the outfield where nobody can catch it. Good job by Michael Young to read that that ball's going to be down and he can score easily.
Right off the end of the bat. Broken bat RBI for Francoeur. David Murphy's had a good series. Riding a 6-game hit streak and 3 hits in last night's game. He's had 2 3-hit games here in September already. Ball on the strike.
He has really taken that ball away from him this whole series and hit it to left field very effectively. The outfield shows that way. They are shading Murphy the other way. Vernon Wells in left center.
Hill bounced behind the bag, steps on the bag for one, back to first, double play. Adam Lynn digs it out of the dirt. Aaron Hill went right to the bag to get the double play, and Zubchinski gets out of the first. Again here tonight. Quite a different lineup for Cedar Gaston. McCoy, Escobar, Bautista, top of the order. Vernon Wells absolutely wearing out pitching of late. 3 games with 4 home runs, 8 RBIs in those 3 games, and he'll be anxious to take his swings against Derek Holland, the young left-hander for Texas.
Holland was recalled from the minor leagues to replace Rich Harden in the rotation. He gave up 4 runs, 6 in the 3rd innings. That was a 4-3 loss by the Rangers at Minnesota on Friday. There are his numbers. He's got a very good live arm. Young player.
23 years old. Holland has spent some time in the big leagues. He had 21 starts last year for Texas. A couple of good fastballs, and he jumps out ahead of Mike McCoy. McCoy making his 4th start of the season in left field. Good late movement on that fastball, and Holland throws hard. 94 miles an hour. Took something off 85, and he gets the strikeout. 1 out here in the first.
Let's take a little closer look at tonight's starter, young Derek Holland for the Texas Rangers. I think you need to take notice. Take notice that he's got a good fastball, 90 to 98 miles an hour. He's got a slider and a changeup also, but it's that fastball I think that he will challenge hitters with, throw strikes with it. His aptitude to pitch is very good, and when you get over to first base, he's got a very good pickoff move.
He's pounding that strike zone early. Fastball, he jumps out ahead of Escobar. Junel Escobar, a hit in his first at bat last night. Ended up 1 for 4 with a walk. 39th game with the Blue Jays. Been plagued by some bat problems of late. Missed 7 games. That's a changeup that he got McCoy with.
Don't you just love it when young pitchers are given a lead in the top of the first inning, that they go out there and just pound that strike zone, say, hey, here it is. I'm going to use my fastball, and you got to beat me.
And that's what he's doing right now, but he falls behind Escobar. Rangers have been in a tough slump. 11 of their Only won 11 of their last 29 games coming into this game. And there's the 1-out walk. Not what you want to do with Bautista coming up.
Not the way Derek Holland can give up some long balls also. Hernandez in Baltimore, David Hernandez, the only one who has given up more home runs per 9 innings than Holland. It's a young pitcher. Got good stuff. I think he's going to fill out. I think he's going to get bigger and stronger and have a better idea of what he's going to do. But right now, he will challenge you with that fastball, so you've got to be ready for it.
Good fastball hitter in Bautista. Takes one up and away. Benji Molina, the catcher, trying to get Holland to stay back a bit here early in this ball game. Big numbers in his last 40 games. 39 RBI in 40 games. Took something off and catches the outside corner.
The double he hit in last night's game, I think, was a perfect example of how Jose Bautista has become an RBI producer. He's just not a guy who stands up there and hits home runs. He can do that. He had a double in the right center field that drove in 2 big runs for the Blue Jays last night. Took what the pitcher would give him. They pitched him away, and he hit it away.
A little bit surprising at that point of the game that he got anything he could reach. And that put the Blue Jays up on top. Broke a 2-2 tie at the time. Kind of a defensive swing, and he fouls it into the seats. Cito Gaston has taken a lot of pride in the development of Jose Bautista, the way Bautista has worked, and he calls him a good listener, good student, a guy that will make quick adjustments. Good rip at that ball.
Well, he has said that one of his goals when the season started, remember he was hitting leadoff, wanted to score 100 runs, but after he got off to a good start, started driving in runs, and Cito Gaston moved him down in the lineup. One of the goals was then to drive in 100 because it means he's helped his team.
He's helped his team a lot.
I think respect has something to do with that. You know, anybody who drives in 100 runs, people look at you a little bit different.
That's what the big boys do. That's the big plateau offensively. Escobar dives back in. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jose Bautista. Blue Jays trail 2-0. Got him. Foul tip held on to by Benji Molina. Second strikeout of the inning for Derek Holland.
I think as Holland gets a little bit older, a little bit stronger, knows himself just a little bit more, I think he's going to be a strikeout pitcher. He's got good stuff. That's a good off-speed pitch right there to a good hitter to pick up his second strikeout.
Two outs now. Vernon Wells, who has absolutely worn out the Rangers this year, takes the first pitch fastball upstairs. Last 7 games, 4 home runs, 10 RBI. 2 of those home runs came in last night's game. Two and 0. Holland's changeup is pretty firm. 84, 85 miles an hour. It's certainly not like Markham's or Romero's. It's down in the low 80s. But the separation is pretty good.
Separation of the miles per hour between his fastball and his breaking ball. I think the whole thing for him is the great arm action that he has on that changeup. You talk about arm action, you just want to jam that ball back into your fingers and throw it as hard as you can. Make it look like to the hitter that you're throwing a fastball.
2 balls and a strike. 2 outs. 3-1. Got underneath that and pushed it up out of the strike zone. And 2 out walk to Wells.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Texas took a 2-0 lead in their half of the first inning. Ian Kinsler with a leadoff home run, his 13th career leadoff home run. Jeff Francoeur drove in the second run. Adam Lind now with 2 outs and 2 on. Benji Molina looked like he might have gotten crossed up there, had a curious look out to the mound, and then looks like he got hit in an awkward place in his hands. You could see Holland say, oh yeah, forgot there was a guy on second. Let's check in with Sam Cosentino.
Well, Buxedo Gaston said before the game that he wanted to go with an all right-handed lineup, and then he looked at the numbers that Lind has against Holland and said, well, we better get him in here. He's had a home run, 5 RBI off Holland in the past, but other than that, with the call-up, Buxedo Gaston now a little leeway to go all right-handed should the situation call for it.
And Lind has hit well against the Rangers this year with 3 home runs and 6 RBI so far.
Why miss with a good thing?
Yeah, he has hit well in the past and starting to show signs. And last night he hit that monster home run to center, 457 feet to center field.
Cedar Gaston knows, just like anybody else, home runs can come in bunches. Guy hits a home run, I think there's a good chance that he's going to come back with another one.
One ball, no strikes. Up and away. 2-0. So Derek Holland with a couple of strikeouts in this first inning, but he's also walked 2. So the Blue Jays have a chance to cut into that early Ranger lead. Looks like that changeup moved inside and caught the inside corner.
One of the things that pitchers have been doing, the Adam Lind lately, they've been going soft and soft and softer to him and then trying to bust him with fastballs. There's another soft pitch. Dwayne Murphy was telling me yesterday that it's got to take discipline for a hitter to lay off some of those pitches and get yourself into good hitters' counts. At times, Adam's been a little bit anxious at the plate, swinging at pitches out of the strike zone. So there's no question about his ability to hit a fastball up.
Another off-speed pitch, and Holland does strike out the side. The Jays leave a pair. Texas leads it 2-0. a ticket honoring Cito Gaston's career with the Blue Jays. For more information and tickets, you can log on to BlueJays.com. Or you can stop by most Rogers Plus locations or call the Blue Jays directly at 416-341-1234. Come on out and take part of the celebration of honoring Cito Gaston in his great managerial career.
Let's try and fill this place up for him. That's what I think he deserves, what he has given this organization throughout all the years.
A ball and a strike to Jorge Cantu. Cantu back at first base tonight. Started the series at first base. Sat out last night's game. There's a breaking ball for a strike. Cito Gaston first came to the Blue Jays in 1982 as Bobby Cox's hitting coach, and then took over as manager and led the Blue Jays to 2 World Series championships. Cantu on the ground. Garrett Hoffbauer throws him out. Went out here in the second.
Didn't realize it last night. That was his 900th win as a Blue Jay manager.
Had a long career. That's over for Jimmy Williams. Went out here in the second. Bouncing ball to short. Escobar throws out Benji Molina. 2 quick outs here.
You could win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Christian Guzman, the number 9 hitter, starting at shortstop tonight. Guzman came into the game last night as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning and hit into a 6-3 double play. First pitch strike from Zepchinski.
Texas has had some injuries this year, haven't they? I mean, it started in spring training with a lot of their players. Christian Guzman comes over here from Washington, and he goes on the disabled list with a quad problem.
Pop toward the seats along the right side, and Adam Lynn's there, and he makes the catch. Quick inning. Good bounce back inning from Mark Zepchinski. 1-2-3 on just 7 pitches. Vernon Wells talking to Jose Molina. We saw this last night when Vernon was talking to John Buck prior to Buck hitting a home run to right field.
Giving him a few tips on what Derek Holland is featuring tonight.
Been a good last 11 games for Aaron Hill, hitting .317. There's a drive to left field, but it's hanging up. Cruz is there, and Hill got under it. Sat back pretty good for that breaking ball, but just got under it a bit.
Maybe a little bit too quick against Derek Holland also. Maybe got off the end of the bat, but that is the type of hitter that Aaron Hill is right there. Get the head out and try and hit it out of the ballpark. No need to hold back when you are Aaron Hill and you're attacking that baseball.
One out, John Buck, the DH tonight. You heard Sam Cosentino talk. Cito Gaston wanted to load up the lineup with right-handed hitters. Good fastball catches the inside corner.
Lefties hitting just $147 against Holland in his short career this year, and .284 right-handed.
Well, his off-speed pitch has been his most effective pitch early on.
A little bit of a change-up. Throws a slider also.
Right to the shortstop. Guzman has it. High throw off the glove of Cantu. That'll be an error on the shortstop, Christian Guzman, and Buck is aboard.
You know, we flashed a set of numbers beginning of this game about the troubles that the Rangers have been going through. One of the numbers that we didn't get a chance to talk about is the way they have fielded the baseball over the last 29 games. Games that they have lost 18 of. They have committed now 20 errors in their last 30 games that have led to 10 unearned runs. You throw in 97 walks over that time, and you can see why the Rangers have struggled.
Well, it's really dangerous against a team like the Blue Jays to issue walks and commit errors, because one swing of the bat and they could knock one out of the ballpark.
You know, it's a team, the Blue Jays, that really doesn't walk a lot. But if you give those walks and you give those guys those second and third chances, they are going to hurt you.
Nobody knows that better than Ron Washington. Jared Hoffbauer jumps back from an inside fastball, a ball on the strike. Hoffbauer making his 10th start at third base, his first action since being recalled from AAA. Right on the outside corner. Hoffbauer last played for the Blue Jays back on July 2nd at Yankee Stadium. In fact, he had a key sacrifice bunt in the 11th inning as the Blue Jays came back to win that extra inning game. Late on a fastball. And for his reward for a job well done, he was sent back to AAA after that game.
Did a few things in that game to help the ball club. You mentioned the sacrifice bunt, a couple of knocks in that game also.
Bounced foul. Texas ahead 2-0. Bottom of the second inning. Blue Jays stranded a pair in the first. Derek Holland struck out the side. He alternated between strikeouts and walks in that first inning. Again out in front of the off-speed pitch. Hoffbauer pulls it foul.
Had a stellar season down in AAA for Blue Jays AAA team. Hit for average. Had some home runs, drove in some runs. 73 runs driven in the 107 games that he played.
Lays off the high fastball. 2-2. With Derek Holland starting this game, John McDonald was originally slated to play third base, but then he was scratched right after batting practice, and Hoffbauer was inserted into the lineup. We have no information as to the problem. There's McDonald sitting on the bench. Two and two. Bounced over the mound. Kinsler steps on the bag at second for one. Back to first. Double play. Derek Holland It's a good defensive play from his second baseman. Kinsler's homered and turned to double play. Texas leads 2-0. Concern for the Rangers this season.
Still hitting the baseball, the average about the same. Runs a little bit shorter. The earned run average, that's the team earned run average. If you break it down even more, the starters earned run average is 5.57. Throw in 4 blown saves over those last 29 games. You can see how it's been very tough on the Rangers in the last month or so.
The good news for Texas, they're 7 games ahead of Oakland in the American League West.
And that's the thing you have to keep telling yourself if you're the Rangers. It's tough times right now. They've got some injuries. They're trying to sort out everything. They are on the road for 10 games. They've just got to get tough and just look for one win. An encouraging sign for them, I thought, was in yesterday's game where they could have laid down in the 9th inning. They came out and really gave the Blue Jays all they could handle.
Breaking ball hit on the ground to Escobar. It's short. Guns to first base, and Kinsler's retired. We mentioned the Athletics 7 behind the Rangers. The Angels are out of it, and basically their hopes died when Kendry Morales broke his leg at home plate. But the Rangers, I'm sure, would like to put together some good games here and gather a little momentum before the postseason.
A win here, a win there, whatever. You know, then you about 2 weeks left to go. Get healthy, get your A team out there, and really put the pedal to the floor and get some momentum.
Michael Young slices it into the seats. When you look at the Rangers' schedule, they'll go home Friday. Josh Hamilton still not able to play. Back in the background, you see Cliff Lee talking to Tommy Hunter, who started here on Monday. But this whole team needs to get healthy. They need Elvis Andrus in the lineup at shortstop, need his speed to spark the offense. Cliff Lee had a side session here and pronounced himself good to go against New York.
Possibly on Sunday, maybe even Saturday, Cliff Lee, after he threw yesterday here.
The Yankees are in Arlington for 3 games. And the Yankees have won 4 of the 5 they've played so far. Full count. 1 out here in the 3rd.
Well, being up by 7 is a whole lot better than being down by 7. You know, I don't think they have anything to worry about, but they do have to start playing a little bit better baseball as they get closer to the finish line.
Breaking ball tapped up the third base line. That'll dribble into foul territory.
One of the teams that they have, or one of the leagues that they have struggled against, was the American League East. You can say this about a lot of teams. The Texas Rangers struggling against New York and Boston, Tampa, a little bit of everybody else. You even look a little closer, the teams that they would possibly play in the playoffs, 0-12 in Minnesota, Tampa, and New York combined. So that's something that Ron Washington and his troops want to change.
Another 3-2 pitch to Michael Young. This ball is drilled to center field. Vernon Wells is back on the track and has room. Makes the catch. Michael Young hit it about as far as you can in this ballpark without knocking it out of the yard.
Had a 7-game hit streak stopped last night. And now Vernon Wells runs it down right in front of the fence in deep center field to haul the ball in. Mark Zepchinski's liking that. Keep the ball down, he's telling himself.
Another ball hit to center field. Vernon Wells is not going to get this one. Bounces up against the wall in center. Cruz cruising into second with a 2-out double.
Nelson Cruz just so strong. Really burst on the scene the last couple of seasons when he got some regular playing time for the Texas Rangers, and he has really put up some big numbers. Watch where this pitch is, and he just drops the head of the bat and drills it into the gap in right center field. Ball twisting away from Vernon Wells. Extra bases again for Cruz, and hitting in that third hole for just the second time in his career ahead of Vladimir Guerrero.
2 outs for Guerrero. Right on the outside corner. And Vladdy said, wait a minute, that was one I couldn't even reach.
And that's saying something. With that bat of his and those long arms, he can reach anything.
Go out there again. Why not?
Was surprised to hear the size of the bat that Vladdy Guerrero uses.
Yeah, when he swings it, it looks like it's about 4 feet long because he can reach everything, but it's basically a small bat, 34 inches long, just 32 ounces. But it looks like a wagon tongue when he swings it.
It certainly does. They have tried to stay out there against him, and he's been able to hit balls off the plate. I think it's because his arms are so long and so quick with his hands.
2 balls and a strike, 2 outs. Cruz at second. Zepchinski has a base open. Francoeurs on deck.
Jose Molina was looking in to the dugout to see if they should just go ahead and put him on. But they will take their chances here, 3-1.
Three and two. You really can't pitch around Guerrero because he reaches balls that no other hitter does. If you want to walk him, you just have to stand up and intentionally walk him.
He might swing then too. You never know if you miss your spot.
3-2. Went after it. Zepchinski strikes him out. The Rangers leave a man on base. Down and away. They got Guerrero to the chase. Good pitch from Zepchinski. that more frequently than anybody in baseball.
And for the most part, they have hit very well off that first pitch. How many first pitch home runs? We've been talking about that all season long also.
46 first pitch home runs, 16 more than the Texas Rangers, who are second.
You know what that does? It puts just a little bit more pressure on that starting pitcher, knowing that when they get into that box, they are ready to just swing the bat as hard as they can. You can't just lollipop one over there saying, okay, here's a get me over curveball or a get me over fastball. They've got to bear down from the first pitch to the last.
Jose Molina drives it to left field. Cruz back on the track at the wall and brings it in, catches it up against the wall. Jose Molina making a bid for a home run. Cruz stayed right with it and pulled it off the wall.
Certainly looked like he got enough of it to get it out of the ballpark. Nelson Cruz has played right field for the most part all season long when he has been healthy. This is just his 5th start in left field this season. He plays this perfectly. He gets back, he finds the wall, puts his arm up against the fence, times his jump perfectly, and takes away extra bases from Molina.
One out. Back to the top of the order. Textbook defense here. You can see Cruz reaching out, see how much room he had, and timed his jump perfectly. Not always the easiest thing to do, to go from right field to left field. The ball flies off the bat much differently in left.
It certainly does. When you start moving from corner to corner, it's a different type of throw. It's a different look. Back into the infield. Everything seems to be backwards when you are switching from corner spots in the outfield. Played that one like he's done it before.
Mike McCoy struck out his first time up, has the count in his favor. Pulls it foul. Blue Jays have to get something going here. Derek Holland gaining more confidence with each inning. He had a 1-2-3 second inning. Retired the first batter here in the third. Got a lot of confidence in that changeup.
He'll throw it any time in the count when he's ahead or behind. It's a good thing when you see a young pitcher like that have the confidence in his off-speed pitch to throw it in those type of counts.
Came back with a fastball and strikes out McCoy for a second time.
You always have that in reserve, that good hard fastball, but it's set up by the off-speed pitches that he threw to Mike McCoy. Then you can go back, reach back for just a little bit more, and at the top of the strike zone, pick up the strikeout.
Right back up the middle, base hit for Escobar. First hit of the game off of Derek Holland.
First pitch swinging. Escobar not wasting any time. This one almost got Holland right in the ankle. Pulls his foot out of the way. Ball goes out into center field.
We always talk about a lineup facing a pitcher second time through the order. Get a little better idea about his velocity, his movement, the spin on his breaking ball. Let's see how the Blue Jays fare second time through. Jose Bautista looks at a fastball down.
Holland has pitched a couple of times against the Blue Jays in his career. And the Blue Jays haven't treated him very kindly. Just 5 1/3 innings, 10 earned runs against him coming into this game.
Bautista hasn't homered in September. His last home run August 31st, Tuesday night against the Rays in St. Petersburg.
I got a good feel, though, tonight. I like this matchup if he's going to challenge him. Bautista looks like he's got that leg kick, that timing mechanism that mechanism that he has working out very nicely.
2-0. Missed down and away. Jose Bautista has hit 2 home runs this season on 3 old pitches, both against left-handed pitchers. 3-0. He had the green light and pops it up a mile high. Cantu at first base now drifts back into fair territory. Escobar forgot how many outs there were, and the Jays strand another base runner. Bautista had his pitch, got under it. Texas leads 2-0. You can go to www.facebook.com/baseballhall, click on poll, and vote for Tom Cheek. Voting closes September 30th. 4,306 consecutive games called by the late, great Tom Cheek. Do your part. Elect him to the Hall of Fame. Base hit into right field. Jeff Francoeur's 2 for 2. Got that high fastball and stayed on it and drilled it into right.
When he came up with the Atlanta Braves, I thought he was going to be a superstar. Saw him in the minor leagues. He was actually playing center field for the Braves down in the minor leagues. Great athlete. Could run, could throw, hit for power, a little bit of everything. To me, it's a mystery why he is with his third team in basically 3 or 4 seasons.
He's never developed plate discipline. He's always been a free swinger. National League teams know it. And you can throw him 5 pitches. He's going to swing at 3 of them.
He would fit in very nicely over here, if that's true.
He's a great kid, very good athlete, terrific thrower from the outfield, but still learning that approach.
He has been over here with the Texas Rangers now for a couple of weeks. Still leads the National League in outfield assists with 11. Shows you how good he's been in the outfield.
David Murphy grounded into a double play his first time up. Cuts on it, and they got Francoeur picked up. Throw to Escobar, back to Lind, and Francoeur will be tagged out by Jared Hoffbauer. Francoeur got overly aggressive, and they picked him off. Threw behind him at first base.
Watch the swing by Murphy, and that got Francoeur out on his right foot. Caught out in no man's land, and now the Blue Jays have got to exercise the rundown. And the tag by Hoffbauer will put him out. Lynn gets rid of the ball quickly. Close that gap. We're getting closer and closer. Pick up the out.
And then Murphy strikes out, so quite a turnaround after Francoeur singled to right. Vancouver was picked off 2, 3, 6, 3, 5, and now Murphy strikes out.
Not enough room on my score sheet to throw that in there. It's a long one. Ideally, you'd like to make one throw when you are trying to get a runner in a rundown. Close the gap, make the one throw, make the quick tag, and you'll be out.
Jorge Cantu. Francoeur obviously over aggressive, a little disappointed to get his second hit and then gets picked off. Jose Molina with a snap throw to first. Now 3-0. A 2-out walk.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
So Benji Molina will bat with 1 on and 2 outs. Benji Molina grounded to shortstop his first time up. All of a sudden, Zepchinski can't find the strike zone. Two and 0. We have seen Zepchinski very good, as he was against the Angels. 7 innings, 2 hits, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. That day, he had a great sinking fastball. Then we have seen him with a very good slider, but he hadn't been able to put the two together.
And maintain it and be consistent throughout the whole game. Noticed that last year in some of his starts where there was always one inning where the wheels would fall off and he didn't know how to get back onto the track. There's no question that he's got very good stuff. But now 2 walks after the pickoff has set the Rangers back up once again.
8 straight balls from Zepchinski, and you can see the pitch ratio about 50-50, and now Jose Molina out to challenge him to force these Rangers to put the ball in play. 2 outs here in the 4th. Texas scored 2 runs in the first inning. Threatening here with 2 outs. Christian Guzman popped up the first. There's a strike. Guzman's a 2-time All-Star. Made the All-Star team in 2001 with the Minnesota Twins, and then in 2008 for the Nationals. So he's made the All-Star team in each league. And chases a ball in the dirt.
Guzman was always one of the guys who would be right up there in triples in his career.
2000 he had 20 triples for the Twins. 2001 he had 14, and then in 2003 he had 14 again.
Great speed, gap type hitter, especially in Minnesota when they would hit that turf and shoot to the baggie in right center field.
Zepchinski back out in front, 0-2. Guzman bounces it to third. Off power. In time to get Guzman, and the Rangers strand a pair. Texas still out in front 2-0. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth.
To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. That's hitahomerunwithsharp.ca.
Well, the Blue Jays have the right guys up here in the fourth inning. Wells, Lind, and Hill. Texas out in front 2-0. Blue Jays with just one hit against young Derek Holland. A breaking ball in there for a strike.
Holland made 21 starts for the Rangers last year. Also had 12 relief appearances. I think a lot of them was probably going to make the team out of spring training, but he got hurt. Knee problem going through some drills very early in the spring and just didn't get on track this season. Has really fought his way back to the big leagues.
He's had a couple of real impressive stops in his minor league career. 2008, he went 7-0 in Clinton, Iowa in the Midwest League. And he actually, for the season, 2008, 3 different stops. He ended up 13-1. He's kind of an interesting guy. He was a 25th round pick in 2006 out of a junior college in Alabama. Wells pops it down the right field side. And 2 doesn't have a play on it. But Holland comes out of Ohio as a high school player. Probably didn't develop physically. Decided to go to junior college in Alabama. And even at that point, a 25th round pick is kind of low for what we see here today.
Well, he didn't light up the radar gun when he was younger. It just wasn't there. But someone had the foresight to take a look at him and say, I think eventually when he fills out and gets bigger, gets stronger, a little bit more work done, you can see it's not a finished product. But when he is, they've got a left-hander who's big and strong and throws very hard.
Well, he gets that changeup, and another good off-speed pitch gets Vernon Wells. Holland has 5 strikeouts.
You know, the biggest thing with young pitchers is consistency. Sometimes they are just on and they have it, and they put together great games. He is the 4th youngest starter to throw a complete game shutout in Rangers history. Last year he did that at the age of 22. Only Jim Arnberger, my buddy Lenny Barker, and Edwin Correa were younger to throw a complete game shutout in Rangers history.
Just outside third and foul. Well, the Texas Rangers done a pretty good job of bringing pitchers along. And Holland looks like he's got a chance to be a pretty good one. We have seen him from time to time, like tonight, say, okay, well, now I see why the Rangers are so high on him.
Consistency. And that's the maddening thing about young players, especially young pitchers. That can drive you crazy. That consistency just isn't there. But boy, when they are on their game, you can say this guy could be a 14 or 15 game winner.
0-2. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the fourth inning. Holland has 6.
Scouting report for him has said that he's always had a good feel for pitching, good aptitude for being on the mound. Very confident in what he does. That time right on the outside corner. Nothing Adam Lynn can do with that one.
And you can see the confidence growing with each pitch from Holland.
Working a little bit quicker. Staying right on that pitcher's mound, right over it after he lets go with a pitch.
Right back in there with the fastball. We've seen a pretty good moving fastball. Holland has used it to both sides of the plate, but the real dominant pitch tonight has been his changeup.
Certainly has. He's used it against the lefties or the righties.
Fastball. That was a bad changeup, but effective. Derek Holland strikes out the side in the fourth. He has 7 strikeouts. He got ahead of Aaron Hill, and even when he makes a mistake, he gets away with it. Texas out in front, 2-0. We'll be right back here tomorrow night for the 4th and final game. Texas takes on the Blue Jays. Colby Lewis, the right-hander, will go to the mound for Texas. Sean Hill, coming back from 2 Tommy John surgeries, a Mississauga native, will make his Blue Jays debut here tomorrow. He went 6-2 in the minor leagues. Pretty interesting story. He could work so hard and be so patient to get through all that rehab, and he's going to get a chance to start in the big leagues.
He's come a very long way.
Ian Kinsler has his second hit of the night, a single into center field.
Third baseman number 10, Michael Young.
Texas out in front 2-0. They scored their 2 runs in the first inning. Michael Young scored one of those runs. Kinsler's a good base runner. He has base stealing speed and quickness. He's 10 for 14 this year. Started out on the disabled list. He didn't play his first game till April 30th because of an ankle sprain.
Last season with Texas, 30-30. 31 home runs out of the leadoff spot for Ron Washington. He also had 31 steals. And the thing about Kinsler, he's a good base runner. You mentioned that. He doesn't get thrown out. He's got a great steal percentage. Knows when to run. Knows when to get a good jump.
There he goes. Pitches on the outside part of the plate into center field. Kinsler bounces to his feet, and he would advance to third. He'll get a piece of it, but it'll be a steal and an error on the catcher.
Just the second error of the season for Jose Molina. He's done a great job this season throwing out base runners. You see Kinsler staring in to try and get the pitch from Mark Zebchimsky. Knows what he wants and takes off and steals it easily. In there, and the ball kicks away from him, and they'll move up another 90 feet.
Well, that was a great shot of Kinsler looking in to see if he could see what pitch was coming. That's something that good base runners do all the time. They see that breaking ball, possibility of a ball in the dirt, slower pitch, breaking ball. They're going to run every time.
Derek Jeter does it always. He's always at first base, peeking in there. Nothing wrong with that.
Base hit into right field. Kinsler will jog home with the third Ranger run.
Key for the Blue Jays, the first two games of this series, is they have kept Kinsler and Young down. Kept them off the bases, but not tonight. See what a dynamic duo these two guys can give you at the top of the lineup. Got some power, they've got some speed, and they obviously can hit as Michael Young punches that ball through the right side.
Young's fourth hit of the series drives home Ian Kinsler. Nelson Cruz had a 2-out double back in the third inning. There's another guy that's been plagued by injuries all year long. That's why his numbers are down for the season.
3 times on the disabled list this year with hamstring problems. Got off to a great start. We were talking about Vernon Wells in the great series he had to open up the season down in Texas. Nelson Cruz, would he drive in about 8 or 10 runs in that series?
Great series to open up the season. Well, bounced in the dirt. Action in the Blue Jays bullpen. Ryan Talent begins to loosen up. So Molina will go to the mound and talk things over with Zebchimsky here. Cito Gaston checking to see the status of Talent, how close he is. Obviously, this game is well within reach. Blue Jays are explosive. They've averaged 7.5 runs scored in the first 2 games of this series.
I don't want to let them get too far ahead here.
3-1.
He's up off the bench.
Cruz has driven in 9 against Toronto this year. 2 home runs and 9 RBI. Broken bat. Second base for 1. Back to first. Double play. Boy, that was a dangerous one. I'm not sure who got hit by the barrel of that bat, but it swung all the way around Cruz. The barrel of that bat exploded. And the bat came around, and now they're picking up pieces all around home plate. Watch the barrel of the bat.
Wow. A little bit of everything. The only thing left in Cruz's hand is the handle. Tailor-made double play. That will certainly help Mark Zebchimsky as the Blue Jays go around the infield and they get the double play.
2 outs for Vladimir Guerrero. Good breaking ball in there for a strike. Boy, the double play has been a big weapon for the Blue Jays in this series. They have now turned 6 double plays in this series.
2 big ones yesterday by Guerrero.
1 in the 6th and 1 in the 8th. The entire infield has made contributions, but boy, that double play has played a big part of this series for the Blue Jays. Three and 1 count to Vladimir Guerrero. On the ground is short. Should be an easy play for Escobar. Guerrero's retired. But the Rangers add a run. Top of the order does the damage. Michael Young has given the Rangers a 3-0 lead. And Sunday. For tickets, call the Blue Jays 416-341-1234, or you can log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Tampa Bay for a weekend series. David Price won his 17th game yesterday as Tampa Bay put one on the Red Sox 14-5 at Fenway.
And so that means we missed David Price.
That's the good news.
I wanted to see him.
He's pretty special. 17-6 now, David Price. Second year as a starting pitcher. Bruce Walton shaking Zebchinski's hand. That's a signal that his night has come to an end. Pitching on 3 days rest, he will be charged with 3 runs on 7 hits through 5 innings. Blue Jays need some base runners. Derek Collin has allowed them but 1 hit. 2 have been walked. 1 reached on an error and a single. 3-1 to John Buck. Tampa Bay now trails the New York Yankees by 2 games. The Yankees won this afternoon, salvaging the final game against Baltimore at Yankee Stadium. Line drive right field. That's over Francoeur's head and off the wall. Buck around first. He'll stop as Francoeur got it back in quickly. Francoeur's had a couple of misplays in this series out in right field.
I think he was surprised by the power on that one by John Buck. Hardest play for an outfielder is the line drive right at you that's going to go over your head. Buck goes down and slices this ball right at Francoeur. He actually made a couple of steps in realized he made a mistake, and there's that good arm that we talked about. It's strong and it's very accurate.
Well, he can really throw. You see, Buck thought he was going to make it to second, then saw the flight of the ball headed towards the bag at second, and he threw on the brakes. Jared Hoffbauer takes a first pitch ball up. If you're just joining us, Hoffbauer was a late addition to the lineup. John McDonald was in the lineup, but scratched before the start of the game, and Hoffbauer took over at third. John McDonald is on the bench, and we're not really sure the reason why he was taken out. Two balls and a strike. Fifth inning here. Blue Jays need to get a couple on, turn their lineup over. Haven't been able to solve Derek Holland just yet.
They've had pitches to hit against Holland, but you're right. They haven't been able to solve that good changeup.
And there it is again. Well, that's been his money pitch. Anytime he needs to make a good pitch, he's gone right to that changeup. Something we've seen all year long from the Blue Jays starters.
There's a couple ways you can get hitters out. You can go in and out or up and down, but you could also try and get them out on their front foot by throwing good changeup. A little of their own medicine for the Blue Jays.
In and out and back and forth. And back and forth is a real good way to pitch. I was talking with Andy Hawkins, the bullpen coach for the Rangers early on, and he and Mike Maddox really preaching the value of the changeup. It's a pitch that can save you an awful lot of pitches per innings, have quick outs, weak ground balls. 2-2. Cut on and missed. Holland has 8 strikeouts as Hoffbauer goes down.
You don't see that a lot in baseball now. It's all about, okay, power. I need power arms. I need strikeouts. But there's more ways to skin a cat than just blow fastballs by him. Holland is showing that tonight by using those off-speed pitches.
When you look around, though, the changeup is becoming more prominent. Even guys like Justin Verlander throwing very good changeups.
I think you have to. You have to be able to command that. It's one thing that the Blue Jays really emphasize with their pitchers down in the minor league system. You have to be able to command that changeup. Throw it 30, 35 times a game down in the minor leagues as you try to develop it.
Jose Molina just missed a home run in the third inning. Hit it up against the wall in left field. We talked about Dwayne Wise and John McDonald at the top of the show being excellent extra men. Jose Molina really does a great job as a backup catcher to John Buck. Base hit left field. That's in front of Cruz. Buck stops at second.
Anytime that you have to come off the bench and you're a bench player, it's a tough job. Your timing gets messed up. You've got to be ready at any time to help the ball club, especially when the manager calls on you. Molina does a good job. As a backup catcher, you're out at the bullpen. You'll catch side sessions. You'll sit in on the meetings when they go over the opposition. I mean, there's just so much you have to do, and then you can sit there and wait. If something happens, you've got to be ready.
You're just a split finger or a broken bone away from being into the game.
Foul tip. There you go.
So top of the order now, Mike McCoy gone down swinging twice tonight. Try to keep the line moving here. 2-0. They played McCoy opposite field in center. David Murphy is a couple of steps to the right field side. Francoeur basically straight away and right, but not very deep. But McCoy's got a big gap to shoot for in left center.
Don't know if he'll be able to score the runners, being down by 3 with just a single in the outfield, the way these Ranger outfielders throw. They aren't that deep. With Mike McCoy up there also.
Well, McCoy has the count in his favor. He'd love to just get on base here and keep the inning going. Escobar on deck. Bautista in the hole. Three and one. Rangers have 4 left-handers in their bullpen. Matt Harrison loosening up.
September baseball, you never run out of arms down in that bullpen.
To third base, Michael Young bobbles it. Second to Kinsler for 1. Not in time, and a return to first. The bobble cost the Rangers a double play.
And I believe that ball hit a seam right around third base. Michael Young is a Gold Glove type of fielder. Won the Gold Glove a couple of years ago. Ball right at him, and I think it hits the seam and comes up on him. But he stays right with it. Makes a good feed to Kinsler, but McCoy runs too well. Beats it out to keep the inning alive.
This is the break the Blue Jays needed. That ground ball potentially could have ended the inning, but Escobar will get a chance with 2 on and 2 outs. He's had a perfect start to his night. Mike Maddox quickly out to the mound to talk to his young left-hander. John Buck's at third. Mike McCoy's at first. Escobar the hitter. Lays off the changeup. Second time through the order, the Blue Jays collected 3 hits. So they went 3 for 9. Second time they had a chance to face Holland.
That's the good news. Bad news? 5 punch outs. Second time through. 5 of the 9 batters going down via the strikeout from Holland.
And all 3 hits were singles. That's really keeping the powerful Blue Jays in check. A ball and a strike to Junel Escobar. One and two.
He has enough fastball that you have to respect it. We've seen some 93s and some 94s here tonight, so you have to respect that fastball. But he's got a lot of confidence in his changeup tonight, and that has really messed up the timing of the Blue Jay hitters.
Another changeup, but that misses. Holland went 6 1/3 last time out. Took a 4-3 loss at the hands of the Twins. Ripped into the glove of Guzman at shortstop. Good diving play by Guzman. Escobar hit it right on the button, but the veteran shortstop spears it and shuts down the Blue Jays rally. 3-0 Rangers. He fell behind in that first inning.
Jumped that pitch count up there right around 80 in his 5 innings. So he will give way to Brian Talent, who will come into the game. This is his 28th game of the season. Talent pitched the second game of the year against these Texas Rangers and pitched a whale of a game. Pitched into the 7th inning. He had 6 strikeouts, which is one off of his career high. Gave up just 4 runs.
This pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. We are in the 6th inning. Jeff Francoeur fouls off the first pitch. Francoeur's 2 for 2 with an RBI. Make that 3 for 3 with a shot into center.
Single to left his first time up, to right his second time up, and this one right back at Brian Talent. Talent stands 6'6". Almost shaved him with that base hit to center field.
Nobody out, man on. David Murphy 0 for 2. Two balls, no strikes to Murphy. Murphy came to the Rangers from the Boston Red Sox in 2007. Eric Gagne, the principal player that went to the Red Sox. Murphy came to Texas with Case and Gabbert, Engel Beltre in exchange for Eric Gagne, July 31st of 07.
That Beltre player, I hear, is a special player. What a deal that might turn out to be for the Texas Rangers.
Murphy checked his swing. The appeal to third. Lance Barkdale says no swing.
I love those kind of trades where you'll sign a veteran reliever. It doesn't work out for you. Somebody might want to get him at the trade deadline, and you can really ask for the moon. Hopefully they will come up. It was on July the 31st, 2007 that they made that trade with the Boston Red Sox. Beltre is an outfielder.
Beltre's 6'1", 165. It's just 19 years old now. Bats left and throws left and can run. Had 31 steals in 2008 in the Midwest League. That's the same type of trade that Alex Anthopoulos has on his mind when you talk about Anthony Gose coming to the organization, and that athletic outfielder with speed.
Might not show up for a couple of years, but when they get here, you say, well, where did this guy come from?
And David Murphy has already made contributions to the Rangers. Stays alive, spoils a pretty good pitch from Talent. Top of the 6th inning, Texas leading 3-0. Brian Talent on in the game in relief of Mark Zebczynski. Pop down the left side. We mentioned the Texas Rangers and their struggles against the American League East. They are 6-16 in American League East ballparks. And if you take away a 4-3 record at Fenway, it's really been disappointing. Anytime they go on the road to play the American League East, they've had problems. And the reason that's daunting for the manager, Ron Washington, is likely that's who they'll match up against in the postseason.
And they have not had a lot of luck being in the playoffs. It's been a while.
Haven't played in the playoffs since 1999. Washington wasn't in the organization, obviously, at that time, but they lost 3 straight to the Yankees. Strike 3 call. Murphy can't believe it. Ed Rapuano brings Murphy up on an outside fastball.
We have seen him take this pitch and slice it to left field. He gives up on it. Good job by Jose Molina to hold it right there for the home plate umpire. Second time that Murphy has gone down via the strikeout.
But to continue the Rangers postseason history, they played 3 division championship series, 99, 98, and 96, all against the Yankees. First pitch swinging. Cantu pops it into foul ground. Long run for Hill and Bautista, and nobody can make a play. But the Yankees lost the first game in 1996 to the Texas Rangers in the ALDS, the division series, and then won the next 9 straight postseason games against Texas.
Winning the World Series in 96, 98, and 99. It's a good point that you make about the Texas Rangers probably playing one of the teams from the East. That's where the wild card will come out most probably. Wild card race. Tampa's got a 7-game lead on Chicago.
And 2 fouls it back. 0-2.
So I think it's important that they get into that number 2 spot, if you will, the number 2 seed in the American League playoffs. Minnesota right now holds a 7-game lead on them.
Just off the inside corner.
If the playoffs would start today, it would be Tampa Bay playing Texas. And Texas is awfully tough at home. Tampa is a very good road team.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Jorge Cantu was picked up by the Rangers from the Florida Marlins, and he has really struggled offensively, hitting under 200. Raises his arms up and gets away from an inside fastball. Full count, 1 out. Jeff Francoeur singled. He's at first. The 1-out walk. Cantu will go to first.
You can win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
2 on, 1 out here. Peter Gaston probably not too pleased with the walks in this situation. Cantu has really had a struggle. He's walked twice tonight. Benji Molina as well. He has a walk. Well, Francoeur singled into center to start the inning.
Certainly don't want to turn around the lineup. A couple of guys hitting around 200 by giving them free passes.
Ball on. No balls and 2 strikes on Benji Molina. Benji Molina came from the San Francisco Giants. We saw him during interleague play when San Francisco played here at Rogers Center. The Giants wanted to open up some playing time for Buster Posey, their young catcher, and boy, that was a prudent move. Posey's been their best hitter.
Been raking, getting that team closer and closer to the playoffs.
I don't know if the Giants are getting closer to the Padres or the Padres are backing up to the Giants. Padres finally won 2 in a row. They had a 10-game losing streak. Giants have won 4 straight. San Francisco is just a game behind San Diego. Molina's putting up quite a battle here against Ryan Talent. Poke to first base. Lynn to second for 1. Back to first base. Wild throw. Runner will come in to score. Francoeur scores all the way from second base. That should have been a double play.
Well, Benji Molina running, it's got to be a double play. The Blue Jays came out early today, right around 3 o'clock, to work on their pitcher's fielding practice. This is one of the plays that they worked on, the 3-6-1 double play. Good feed from Lynn to Escobar. And that throw from Escobar, not even close to Brian Talent over there at first base.
Missed by 15 feet. Molina doesn't run well. They have plenty of time. Can too. Sliding hard into second base, forces the bad throw from Escobar, and the Rangers get an extra run.
Defense has been good all season long for the Blue Jays. That time it cost them a run.
Fielder's choice, air on the shortstop, no RBI on the play, but the run goes on the scoreboard. It's now 4-0 Texas. Kind of a sloppy game all around. 3 errors committed in the game. Jose Molina has been charged with an error, just his second of the season. Christian Guzman, who's at the plate, committed an error in the second. And now Escobar with an error. The second consecutive game. Escobar also committed an error in the 8th inning in last night's game.
Certainly hasn't been a very crisp ball game tonight. Understatement of the season right there. A lot of walks. A lot of pitches thrown.
They went to Guzman off the end of the bat. Broken bat. There's the flip to second for the force out. So Talent gets out of it. His defense let him down. The Rangers score an extra run on the throwing error by Escobar. It's 4-0 Texas.
what a great job they do for our kids. We've been there quite a few years now. We're really pleased to get the extension through 12. And they've been great partners for us, and we look forward to the relationship going forward.
The Blue Jays have also added another affiliate, a seventh affiliate, which will play out of Bluefield, West Virginia. What will that franchise do for the club?
Well, Sam, it started last year. You know, Alex had the vision of driving this thing with player development and scouting, and last year we made the commitment with all the scouts, added, we have the biggest scouting staff in baseball. The second step was to commit the resources to the draft and to international signings, and this is the corresponding move, adding a seventh affiliate. We're one of a handful of teams now that have 7 affiliates, and we think going forward it's going to be a big help.
One more for you here, Tony. When you talk about all the scouts that have been added, how is that working out as far as coordinating everybody?
Well, it's been great. We've got Perry Manassian, our pro director, and Andrew Tinish, our amateur director. Those guys do an outstanding job of gathering the information to help us make good decisions.
Tony, great. Thanks for your time.
Anytime, sir.
One down in the inning as Bautista flies out for the first out in the inning. Buck?
1 out here in the 6th, and that is good news on the development side of things to have that extra rookie league team, 7 minor league clubs now, and you can sign the extra players, and that anytime you do that, that will certainly increase your percentages of developing major league players.
You know what it tells me when you go to those half-season types of clubs?
Vernon Wells hits it to Michael Young, who quickly throws and skips it across the diamond. 2 quick outs here by Matt Harrison.
You know, it tells me that they're going to start using some of those younger players through the draft. Half-season teams are usually very young because it's an indoctrination to pro baseball. You give them a little bit, but not a whole lot. They can go there. They're going to be playing against kids their same age. You're talking about 17 years old, 18 years old, 19-year-old teams. Blue Jays in the last 7 or 8 years have been drafting college players, and they've been 22 years old, entering pro ball in those half seasons, and really not playing to their potential, I think.
There's just not much room for growth in a college player. He's pretty close to the final product when you sign a college player. And when you sign high school players, obviously they project much better. And you think about Hall of Famers like George Brett, Robin Yount, and Derek Jeter. High school players. They learn how to play baseball in professional baseball in the minor leagues.
College players going to half seasons, they're playing 18 and 19 years. It's not fair. They are so far advanced because they've had 4 years of college, where those kids coming out of high school, they're overmatched. And I think it would give you a false sense that they're doing something. Higher up they would get in the chain when they're facing players that their age just didn't project out.
2-2 to Adam Lind with 2 outs. Some of those college players coming out of great programs like USC and Florida State and Florida faced better competition in college than they did that first 60-game season in the rookie league.
Young kids, they just have no idea. They're coming into pro baseball, how hard it is.
Just popped down the left side, and Cruz gives it a look, but it's out of his reach. I remember the first time I reported to my rookie league team in Eugene, Oregon in 1967. There were a couple of college guys on that team, and I thought they were old men. I was a freshman in college, signed after my first year junior college, and I was 18. There were a couple of 21-year-olds, and I thought I was playing with a couple of old men.
Same
Pretty
thing.
good pitch right on the outside corner. Matt Harrison comes out of the bullpen and shuts down the Blue Jays in the 6th. 3 up, 3 down, 6th inning. We've played 6 at Rogers Center. Casey Jansen when we come back. get back in it, maybe a home run or two, and things will turn around. Now, Casey Jansen comes out of the bullpen. Brian Talent worked an inning. He was charged with a run, an unearned run, and allowed just one hit.
Decent numbers for Casey Jansen, 361 earned run average. His greatest asset is his ability to throw strikes, command, keep the ball down. He is striking out batters at about 1 an inning. I think his best pitch is a good sinking fastball that he has that he'll use against right-handers. But you've got to keep it down.
Ian Kinsler, a couple of hits tonight. Another good pitch on the knees, down and away. A ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball got him. Foul tipped into the glove of Molina.
Get a hot hitter in Ian Kinsler. Home run, a single, stolen base tonight. Casey Jansen makes quick work of him with a good breaking ball on the outside part of the plate.
1 out in the 7th. Michael Young had an RBI single back in the 5th inning. Shot a base hit into right field to chase home Ian Kinsler. Cuts on the first pitch and misses. Well, he made a great point about Casey Jansen. He's a strike thrower. He can throw his sinking fastball for strikes, both sides of the plate, and he uses that cut fastball very effectively. Bounce behind the mound. Near the bag, Escobar throws Young out. Checking with Sam Cosentino.
A note for all you golfers out there, if you're looking for a great day of golf in support of a good cause, check out the 2nd annual Pat Marsden Invitational at the Richmond Hill Golf Club September 13th. Pat Marsden Foundation has partnered up with Canadian Tire Jumpstart to help financially disadvantaged kids participate in organized sport and recreation programs. For more info or to register online, go to pmfinvitational.com.
Two quick outs here in the 7th inning, and now Nelson Cruz will face Casey Jansen.
Had a pretty good sinker right there to Michael Young to retire him. Tells you the kind of year that Jansen has had when it comes to strikeouts. 8 times this year he has had 3 strikeouts or more in an appearance. That's what Cito Gaston wants to see. Come out of that bullpen, work quickly, throw strikes. Don't give them extra chances to swing that bat.
Cruz checked his swing. 2 balls and a strike. Right off the end of the bat. Nelson Cruz has bounced around. He signed originally with the New York Mets back in '98 as a non-drafted free agent. And then he was acquired by Oakland in a trade. And then he was traded from Oakland to Milwaukee. His first shot at playing in the big leagues came in 2005. Just missed the inside corner, full count.
First time I saw him when he was with the Mets, I was like Manny Ramirez. He was a right fielder, looked a little bit like Ramirez at the plate, how he holds his bat, open stance, and guides into it.
It's this ball on the ground. Hoffbauer in foul territory. Can't find the handle. No chance to get Cruz at first. Second hit for Nelson Cruz.
Be an infield single for the power hitting outfielder. He's in a good spot. Hoffbauer gets over to it, catches it. I don't think he had a good grip of the ball. That's why he held on to it. He had time to make the play, but I don't think he got a good grip when he transferred from glove to hand. So he just ate it, and Cruz has a hit.
Now that'll bring Vladdy Guerrero to the plate with 2 outs and a man on. Guerrero had a single in his first at bat.
Numbers, numbers, numbers for Vladdy Guerrero. Look at his major league career, which started back in 1996. This is his active rank. He's always been a great hitter. Average-wise, 320. That ranks him 5th overall. Power and production, extra base hits, a little bit of everything. And he was a good outfielder when he was younger.
Could really throw. Covered a lot of ground, played right field for the Expos. Played every day for the first time in 1998. Lines it. One hopper to Aaron Hill. And he hit that ball hard. So Casey Jensen gets out of the inning with one runner stranded. 4-0 Texas.
Sinker, slider, and he gets the ball down. Get a lot of ground ball outs. Very hard to get the ball up in the air against O'Day. And with a trio of right-handers coming up, Rob Washington goes to his bullpen to bring in his righty setup man.
Matt Harrison did a good job. He had a 1-2-3 6th inning. Now Hill, Buck, and Hoffpower, the scheduled hitters, to face Darren O'Day. Hill faced O'Day last night and took a walk. The last batter O'Day would face. First pitch, fastball. Bourbon not playing tonight. Want to keep himself busy. Look at Vladdy in the background. There's a base hit for Aaron Hill. Francoeur comes over and cuts it off to keep Hill at first. Blue Jays well within striking distance, just a 4-run cushion. John Buck now will try to keep things going. Buck's been on base twice tonight. Reached on an error in the second and single to right.
Get a couple runners on and then a blast, and you got some home run pop now on the on-deck circle.
Travis Snyder, with the right-hander into the game, has come on to the on-deck circle. John Buck grounds it to third. Young to second for one. Kinsler back to first. Dug out by Cantu. Double play. Michael Young made a great throw to Kinsler at second, who made quick work of it around the bag.
Boy, that was pretty. Watch how quick Michael Young's hands are, as is Ian Kinsler, the second baseman. Strong arm as that runner is bearing down on him. Young has played every position in the infield.
They're both former shortstops, and they both have good hands and quick feet. Travis Snyder pinch hitting for Jared Hoffpower. Swings at the first pitch, broken bat grounder to can 2. Darren O'Day needs just 5 pitches to get out of the 7th. Texas still out in front by 4. The diamond to right field. Travis Snyder pinch hit for the third baseman Jared Hoffpower. He takes over in left. And Jose Bautista moves from right to third base with Hoffpower leaving the ball game. Josh Renicky comes on to pitch the 8th inning. Brian Town had a good inning of work in the 7th.
Josh Renicky, second game that he has pitched since being recalled from the minor leagues, where he was sensational, 9-1 record in 36 games for Las Vegas, 363 earned run average. He features a very good fastball right over the top. They got him from the Cincinnati Reds in that Scott Rowland trade. He's got a good arm when he harnesses all of his pitches. Josh Renicky is a power arm in the bullpen for any team that he plays for.
Probably a lot of turnover to the Blue Jays bullpen in the offseason. Renicky making a bid, trying to make an impression. Jeff Francoeur's made an impression tonight. 3 for 3. Swings at the first pitch and hits it off the end of the bat. Aaron Hill in time to retire Francoeur.
I like Josh Renicky. I saw him when he was in Cincinnati when he came up. He's got a power arm right over the top. He can rush it in there low 90s. If he can refine his breaking ball and throw it for strikes, I think it will complement that good fastball.
He's still learning the art of pitching, too. He was a 2-sport athlete in college, played football at UCLA. So he's got physical ability now, just a matter of refining his pitching skills. Father Gary Renicky played outfield for some good Baltimore Oriole teams. David Murphy had a quiet night tonight. Double play and 2 strikeouts.
I love having power arms coming out of that bullpen. I think those are the type of arms that help you win ball games.
Murphy drills it into center field. Wells cuts it off, but he won't be able to keep Murphy from going into second. David Murphy with his first hit of the night, a one-out double.
Fastball over the top. Molina wants this ball further away where Murphy has to reach for it. Catches too much of the play. Good hustle by Wells to cut that off.
Jorge Cantu has walked twice tonight, officially just 0 for 1. Breaking ball catches the inside corner.
Cantu has been a very good RBI man the last 2 years. Played for the Florida Marlins in 08 and 09. Drove in 195 runs over the last 2 seasons. Looking for his first RBI in the last 25 games with Texas.
Doesn't have an RBI in 62 official at-bats.
Hard to believe. He has been a very productive hitter the last few years.
Late on that fastball. He was the first Tampa Bay Devil Ray at the time to drive in 100 runs.
2005, 28 home runs, 117 driven in. 20 played second base for Tampa Bay. He was gone in 2 years from there.
Breaking ball. He checked his swing. Molina knocks it down. You know, speaking about, Molina just threw that ball at Ed Rapuano, who didn't see it, and it hit Rapuano. Cantu saying, I think he threw that at you, Eddie. Watch this. Molina gets the ball, Rapuano turns away, and then that ball hits him on the shoulder. What did you do, you, Jose? 2-2. Foul back. You know, Cantu, important part of Tampa Bay, and they improved and got better, and he moved on to the Florida Marlins. How about Akinori Iwamura, the second baseman that played in the World Series for Tampa Bay, has just been designated for assignment from the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Hard to believe.
That's 3 years ago. He was in the World Series. Prominent member of the Rays. Cantu swings and misses. Good breaking ball from Reneke.
Another at bat. Good spot with that one. Cantu can't reach the breaking ball. We find the breaking ball complemented with a fastball. You'll get a lot of strikeouts. Thought that was a good signing by Pittsburgh to get Iwamura. Would help them out, but boy, that just
didn't work. Benji Molina. Boy, you can see the life on Reneke's fastball. Certainly, having the type of season he had in AAA had to give him a lot of confidence. I mean, that is a hitter's league for sure. And to go 9-1 pitching out of the bullpen, pretty impressive.
36 games, an ERA of 3.6. That's pretty impressive. Everybody knows the Pacific Coast League, how that is a hitter's league. The ball flies out of those ballparks there.
One ball, one strike. 2 outs. Murphy at second base. Good off-speed pitch.
And hard, too. That was 88 miles an hour, that breaking ball. Look where they're fouling off his fastball also. I think that's a good indication of the type of arm that he possesses.
Just missed the outside corner. 95 with the fastball. Breaking ball, shot into right field. Mike McCoy comes up throwing. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. David Murphy with 2 outs got a good break at second base and beat a strong throw to the plate.
He got a huge secondary jump out at second base. With 2 outs, you are going on contact. You have the best vision as the base runner out at second base if that ball is going to be hit or not. You could see how far off he was. McCoy comes up gunning. Murphy's got a tap dance around that bat and come in the back door for the Texas Rangers' 5th run.
Not much you can do about it. With 2 outs, Murphy got a great break and McCoy made a good throw. 5-0 Texas. A ball and a strike to Christian Guzman. Guzman's had an 0 for tonight. Made a good play. Might have gotten the ball, Blue Jays back in the ball game in the 5th inning when he speared a line drive off the bat of Junel Escobar.
A couple of runners were on base when that happened. That ball squirts through. There's a run on the board, and then you've got the big home run hitters coming up.
At the time, it was 3-0. But Guzman robbed Escobar of a base hit. It was after that sinking fastball. 2-2. Got him. Renicky comes back and strikes out Guzman to end the inning, but the Rangers had an insurance run. Texas leads 5-0.
First inning, leadoff home run. Repchinski fell behind. Ian Kinsler deposited for his 8th home run, and right now, shutting out the Blue Jays. That might have been the only run they needed.
Well, Ron Washington had talked about why he had Kinsler in the leadoff spot. He said because he can put us ahead his first time to the plate, and that's what happened tonight. Defensive changes. David Murphy moves from center field to left. Julio Bourbon comes in to play center. And Nelson Cruz moves from left field to right field. Jose Molina chases a first pitch breaking ball. Molina singled. his last time up. 5-0 Texas leads. Fred Lewis, we haven't seen him swing the bat for a while. Been plagued by that left elbow problem. Loosening up on deck. Another long drive to left field. Jose Molina, home run! Molina just missed a home run in his first at-bat. He didn't miss this one. Number 5 on the season for Molina.
And that keeps that streak of hitting at least one home run intact for the Blue Jays. It was getting desperate here in the 8th inning. O'Day, touchdown for the second night in a row for a home run.
Molina's swung the bat well all night tonight. 2 for 3 and took Nelson Cruz to the wall in left his first time up. Blue Jays are on the board. Ron Washington, with a slow walk to the mound, will take the ball from Darren O'Day. When we come back, it'll be Darren Oliver. Last 2 appearances here at Rogers Center, gave up a 2-run or a home run to Vernon Wells in last night's game, and here Molina takes him deep, and that knocks O'Day out of the game.
Just his second and third home runs given up all season long. He will give way to Darren Oliver, the veteran lefty specialist, after Fred Lewis was announced into the ball game. Ron Washington goes right to his lefty, Darren Oliver. 15 years now in the big leagues. Pretty good numbers all the way around. He's giving up less hits than innings pitched, and he's striking out batters at a little bit more than 1 an inning.
Fred Lewis, indeed, will come on to pinch hit. He'll stay in the ball game even after the left-hander has been announced. Takes the first pitch upstairs. Nobody out here in the 8th inning. Blue Jays trailing by 4. Ball and a strike to Lewis. Breaking ball lifted into left field. David Murphy calling for it. Now the center fielder, Julio Bobon, comes over and makes the catch. Neftali Feliz, the closer for Texas, has not pitched in his series. What a job he's done for Ron Washington this year. Feliz taking over that closer spot. He is 34 for 37 in save opportunities.
He has not pitched since last Wednesday at Kansas City. So, save situation or not, I think Ron Washington wants to get him into the game somehow tonight.
A ball and a strike to Junel Escobar. And Oliver gave up the long home run to Adam Lind in last night's game. A 2-run shot to center. Line to Cantu at first. Twice now, Escobar has hit the ball right on the line, but caught both times.
Not much to show for it. Robbed of a hit his last time up, this time right at him. Cantu doesn't even have to move. Ball stung right at the first baseman.
Jose Bautista takes the first pitch strike.
Oliver's been around. He has been in this situation many, many times in his career.
Popped up a mile high on the left side of the infield. Christian Guzman calls for it and makes the catch. Darren Oliver comes out of the bullpen and retires the 3 batters he faced. Jose Molina gets the Blue Jays on the board. A solo home run to left, his 5th. It's 5-1 Rangers. Fred Lewis stays in the ball game and plays right field defensively. Pinch hit for Mike McCoy, and David Percy comes on to work the 9th inning.
David Percy was cruising right along with a good year till about a month ago. There was a play at first base, a high throw. He was covering the bag, and he caught his spikes on the bag on the wrong way, twisted his ankle, went on the disabled list. He was just reinstated from the disabled list, activated on September the 1st. Appeared in 3 games with New Hampshire on a rehab assignment, and now back out on the big league mound.
Do you like him in this role?
I like him if he can throw strikes consistently, and he's got a big arm for me. I think the Blue Jays have done a good thing with David. They've taken away a couple of his pitches and said, all right, we're going to pitch you out of the bullpen, and we're going to say fastball, breaking ball, and that's the only thing you're going to concentrate on. Give you an inning here, give you an inning there. And I think he has blossomed in that role. If he throws enough strikes, it's a left-handed power arm. And how many left-handed power arms can you name in the big leagues right now?
Well,
out of the bullpen.
Yep. First guy that comes to mind is Matt Thornton. I think Cedar Gaston having a little bit of eye contact with Ed Rapuano after that last pitch sailed all the way back to the backstop. Ball and a strike. Kinsler ducks away from an inside fastball, but you make a great point. We saw Boone Logan with the Yankees. Same type of arm, same type of role. I think Percy could develop into that type of pitcher.
You know, it's not easy to throw 93, 94, 95, whatever it is on a given day that Percy can do, especially in this situation. Come out of the bullpen, give me one good inning, give me everything you've got.
Kinsler lifts it to left field. Travis Snyder over from left. Now Vernon Wells, the center fielder, calls him off. 1 out.
I think to win the American League East, you've got to be deep in your pitching staff, but I think your bullpen has to be very good too. And it's got to be stocked with flamethrowers and guys who can strike guys out, because they're going to be coming in tough situations against very good patient hitters to win those games, and you need strikeouts.
Well, when you think about the approach of the Yankees, the Rays, and the Red Sox, all their hitters are very patient. They will put the ball in play. So you need power arms to get strikeouts, strand base runners, come in with guys on and punch out a couple of guys.
Look at the Red Sox. Daniel Bard, Jonathan Papelbon. Look at the New York Yankees. You mentioned Boone Logan. I also like Damaso Marte when he is healthy, coming out of that bullpen from the left side.
And, of course, now Jabba Chamberlain and Kerry Wood coming out in the 8th before Mariano Rivera.
Pretty impressive bullpen.
Down in Tampa Bay, Grant Balfour. Power arm coming at you, 96-97. And Chad Qualls with that good slider.
They're a different team now with Soriano closing for him also.
Pushed everybody down a notch. Michael Young rips it into right center. Fred Lewis just into the game will cut it off.
You can win an all-new Honda CRZ and other great prizes when you vote for the Honda Play of the Month. Vote today at BlueJays.com.
Rangers now with 12 hits. And 11 hits in last night's game. It fell short, lost 8-5. Had 10 hits in the opener. Actually out-hit the Blue Jays in the first game, although they lost 7-2.
You know, we're talking about power arms in the bullpen. We haven't even talked about the White Sox, and I think Minnesota's got some power arms in their bullpen, and they're very deep.
When you look at the White Sox with Sergio Santos, the young guy that came up to add depth, they've had injuries in their bullpen. Bobby Jenks has been down. Matt Thornton's been down for a while. J.J. Putz is on the DL. But they've got power arms, and when they're all healthy, they can close out a game very quickly.
Shortens the game up a little bit. Minnesota, what have they done to make themselves better? They've gone out and got bullpen arms.
Matt Capps came on, and Big John Roush shortened the game. When you think about winning championships, obviously starting pitching is important, but look at the teams that lead the American League in bullpen ERA.
Who's in first place?
New York, Texas, Minnesota.
And who's got the wild card?
Tampa Bay.
I don't think it's a coincidence.
Nope. And it's the least predictable aspect of your team from year to year. Cruz pops it up behind the home plate. Molina over near the dugout, and he's out of play. But from year to year, you just never really know what you're going to get. Look at Tampa Bay last year. 2008, they went to the World Series. J.P. Howell pitched great. Danny Wheeler, they had Percival in and out. But then 2009, their bullpen fell apart. Nobody was as effective, and J.P. Howell hasn't bounced back, and he's missed the entire season.
Their starters threw the most innings in the American League last year because they couldn't go to the bullpen as effectively as they wanted to, like in 2008.
Percy trying to go backdoor with the breaking ball, missed. When you think about Cito Gaston's great teams, 92-93, talk about a loaded bullpen.
Oh,
had starters down there pitching out of the bullpen. Nelson Cruz hits it to left field and hits it a ton. Nelson Cruz, 2-run homer. Number 17 for Nelson Cruz.
He is a dangerous bat with lots of power, especially in that ballpark where they play. When you're talking about Cruz and Hamilton, Kinsler, Young, Guerrero, they have got as good of an offensive exploding team as there is in the American League. He is going to jump all over this breaking ball from Percy, and this one is not going to be held by the ballpark.
No stride, powerful swing, and quick hands. Nelson Cruz hits it a mile off the glass in left center. Vladdy Guerrero chased a high fastball. 7-1 Rangers. 2 home runs tonight, a leadoff solo home run, and the 2-run shot by Cruz. 0-2 to Guerrero. Jose Molina's taken a beating the last couple of games on his glove hand.
Yeah, I saw that in New York. A couple of foul tips where he bent his catching hand back.
Sometimes you get your hand all ready to catch the ball, and then the hitter deflects a little bit and catches you in a very weak point in your glove where you don't have much strength into your fingers and bends those fingers back. Happened to him quite a bit lately. 0-2 to Guerrero. Just one out here in the ninth. Little soft pop-up down the right field line. That's trouble, and it's a fair ball. Guerrero around first, headed for second. Throw to second base, not in time. Guerrero's second hit, a little bloop down the right field line.
Probably make up for the one that he had his last time up when he smoked the ball right at Aaron Hill at second base and didn't have anything to show for it as Hill threw him out. This time, Texas leaguer right down the right field line. No chance for Lynn or Hill to get that. Multi-hit game for Vladimir Guerrero as he heads down the line. You can see him struggling to get into second base.
3 hits now for the Rangers off of David Percy. A single, a home run, and a double by Guerrero.
That is his 30th 2-hit game of the season.
Julio Bourbon batting for the first time, came on defensively in the 8th inning. Hitting in Jeff Francoeur's spot. Waves at the breaking ball. Ball on a strike. 14 hits now for Texas, and all of a sudden things start to look a little rosier for the Texas Rangers.
Lost last night's game. Probably ran back to turn on the television to see how Oakland did. Seattle got him. Helped him out.
Everybody trying to forget about the scoreboard, but it's difficult when you've had such a disappointing road trip. Breaking ball gets Bourbon. 2 outs now.
Left field, number 7, David Murphy.
Don't you love it when players tell you, well, we never look at the scoreboard?
That's a lie.
You come off the field after playing, you say, how are they doing? Everybody looks at the scoreboard.
If they tell you they don't, they're crazy. Not true. Seattle and Oakland played the late game last night, and you know the players ran back to their room just to get the update from one of the news sources.
Now Seattle will play at Oakland coming up at 10:30 p.m. on Sportsnet 1. You'll get a chance to see that Western Division game. American League West matchup. Luke French against Gio Gonzalez. Gonzalez going for his 14th win. 13-8 takes on the Mariners tonight. Talking about pennant races. Don't look now, but the Colorado Rockies are back in it.
They are? I know they've won 5 in a row.
4.5 back in the division. David Murphy cuts on and misses. And they are 4.5 back in the wild card. Colorado has won 5 in a row.
When was that? 2007?
7. 20 out of 21.
That great run.
Murphy with another base hit into center field. Guerrero around third base. He will score. 8-1 Rangers. 15th hit of the night. Murphy has his second.
We had an inkling of this from the Texas Rangers last night when they battled into the 9th inning and made it a game. Ron Washington was talking about it a little bit after the game yesterday. He said that was a good sign that we saw that we were battled, we were going to come back, and they really picked up where they left off from last night's game. A couple of runs in the first inning, 2 more in the 5th and 6th, and now they've made it a laugher with 4 in the last 2 innings.
Jorge Cantu looking for his first hit of the night. A ball and a strike. When you are a front runner like Texas, you have your fate in your own hand. And certainly with that 7-game cushion, got a little room to work with. But at the same time, you want to play good baseball going into the postseason. Cliff Lee has pronounced himself healthy. C.J. Wilson sitting on the cooler has pitched great for the Rangers all year long in that starting role. And basically, that's all you need. You need a couple hot pitchers in the postseason. You get 3 good starts, and who knows? Cantu, base hit into left center. Murphy will go first to third. Ball goes back to second base. Cantu has his first hit.
You know, especially in that first round where it's 3 out of 5, you get a couple of hot pitchers, and that really sets the tone for the playoffs. You can win on the road, you can win at home, doesn't matter. You got a couple of hot pitchers, get you into that second round very quickly.
Well, the Yankees now, they won today. They have 87 wins, so they are 5 wins ahead of Minnesota, the best record in the American League. No, they would have home field advantage.
And that's an advantage for them.
49-25 for the Yankees at home this year. That's Robbie Lewis loosening up.
It is awfully tough to go into Yankee Stadium in October and win a ball game. The fans get juiced up, the atmosphere, everything like that. Seems like the Yankees just bring it. A little bit higher tone in October at home.
They've been doing it for years.
They know how to win.
Benji Molina had an RBI single his last time up. 8 runs on 16 hits for the Rangers. Popped into shallow right field. Fred Lewis comes on and he makes the catch, and the Rangers are finally retired here in the 9th. But they add 3 more runs. They lead at 8-1. Blue Jays 1 more chance. Bottom of the 9th. to the major leagues and make the start. Been through a couple of Tommy John surgeries and worked hard to get back, and it's a well-deserved opportunity tomorrow night.
First things first, Natali Feliz is into the ball game to finish this one out. Has not worked again since last Wednesday, so Ron Washington's got his big closer some time. Look at those eye-popping numbers, 59 strikeouts in 58 innings. You know what he's featuring.
Easy cheese at 98. Got the big fastball. Really has a great delivery. Very smooth. All 4 pitches, but a good fastball and a great breaking ball.
Yeah, he stays behind it so well, and you're right. It's effortless when he lets go of that ball. Effortless delivery. Ranked the #1 prospect in the Texas Rangers organization the last 2 years.
Two balls and a strike to Vernon Wells. Underneath that fastball, 3-1. Always a concern for a manager when your closer hasn't worked for a while. You have to bring him into a non-save situation. The juices generally aren't flowing.
Yeah, the command's not there. And next thing you know, he's thrown 20 or 25 pitches to get through the inning.
And then when you need him in a save situation tomorrow night, you might be reluctant to go to him. Talk about relievers. How about Trevor Hoffman picking up his 600th career save last night? Mariano Rivera at 5:55. But Rivera had some great words to say about Hoffman after he accomplished that milestone. Talked about what a great competitor, how happy he was for Trevor Hoffman to establish that all-time saves record.
You know what's impressive about the 600 saves? Well, that alone is impressive, but how he did it. Trevor Hoffman is not a guy who's going to blow the ball by you like a Mariano Rivera, or you saw Lee Smith on that list also. He did it with a fastball and a changeup.
There's a slider, 0-2. Yeah, his outpitch was a changeup, which is really, it wasn't a splitter. It wasn't the Tom Hankey kind of changeup. It was a straight changeup that was just very effective.
And you knew it was coming. You knew he was going to throw it to you at some point, but still had those batters out in front.
Then goes down swinging. First out here in the ninth. 4 strikeouts for Lynn tonight against the Rangers.
Yeah, some tough pitching against Adam Lynn tonight. Holland, Harrison, and now Feliz. Darting fastball right on the outside part of the plate, going away from the left-hander.
Comes right back and throws a first pitch strike to Hill. We mentioned Hoffman. He saved the game against the Cardinals. It was only his 25th career save against St. Louis. We say only because when you amass 600, obviously you have some big numbers against other teams. But that was the fewest saves he had against any National League team other than his own San Diego Padres. He pitched his entire career, saved the last couple of seasons in Milwaukee, in San Diego. He was with the Florida Marlins early on in his career and really established himself with the Padres.
Came up as an everyday player.
Yep. Great athlete, in tremendous shape, and certainly one of the real class acts. Hall of Famer?
Easily.
Yeah.
600 saves.
For sure.
Started in the Reds organization and exposed to the expansion draft to the Florida Marlins.
On the ground is short. Guzman to second for one. Back to first, not in time. Hill beats the relay to first. 2 outs.
Ball wasn't hit very hard by Hill. Kinsler with a good throw off balance, but Hill hustling all the way, beats it keeping the inning alive for John Buck.
John Buck hit a long single to right field, hit it off the wall in right field. Nelson Cruz got it back in quickly to keep Buck at first. And bounced all the way back to the screen. That is a capital letter wild pitch.
Feliz has got great control. 191 batting average against. That's his 5th wild pitch this year. Started spring training. They thought that he might be one of their starters. So they got him plenty of innings this spring. And Frank Francisco couldn't close out games. Feliz was the guy. When the season started, it was Feliz who was the 8th inning man. Francisco was the 9th inning man.
Saw Francisco on opening day pitched the 9th inning. He came in with the Rangers trailing 4-3. Francisco picked up the win in the opening game of the season. Popped outside of first base. Cantu drifts over into the coach's box and makes the catch. That'll do it. Texas wins 8-1. They pound out 16 hits, including 2 home runs, and Ian Kinsler got everything going with a leadoff home run in the first. Jeff Francoeur 3 for 4 tonight. Texas all over the Blue Jays. Stay tuned. It'll be Oakland and Seattle coming up next.
After a while, you